Incorporating this one routine will see your performance skyrocket. Hi, and welcome to the Law Simplified, the world's largest independent online law school platform. I'm your instructor, Shaveen Bandaranayake. A common denominator among most students, irrespective of the level of understanding that they have in whatever subject that they are currently pursuing, is the fact that they are unable to translate what they have learnt or what they have understood properly on paper. If you like the type of content that I make on this YouTube channel, as well as the different platforms the Law Simplified is disseminated on, do subscribe to the Law Simplified and leave a comment below so that I have a better understanding of what will help you in terms of your academic and professional careers in law. I would highly recommend having a look at the comprehensive online law school platform, complete with theory, tutorial, and workshop lessons based on the actual one-on-ones that I've conducted with students from all around the world. Now, what is this one routine that will help you skyrocket your academic performance in law? It's actually 3 steps and 3 stages. Read, write, and repeat. What do I mean by this? Oftentimes I've heard, even from my fast track and masterclass students, on how they've put in the number of hours going through textbooks, their respective supplemental reading material, articles, cases for that matter, even gone to the extent of not just reading judgments but also dissenting opinions, obiter as much as the ratio, so to speak. But when it comes down to an examination or an assignment submission, they appear to have what could be considered as the academic equivalent of stage fright. As a result, it's very difficult for an examiner to grasp the level of performance that you actually are capable of, because he or she would not have an idea of what your preparation was like and what your understanding is. The only way to translate that is via a standardized examination which they have posed to you by way of your university, assessing you in this manner, and if you are unable to really put down on paper properly what that understanding is, all of that preparation is in vain. So how do we get over this fact? It's often equivalent to if you are working out, for example, avoiding certain muscles or certain types of exercise because you really don't want to get into it. Oftentimes this is equated to leg day at the gym. But what is most important, and I would argue that this is even more so than the actual reading component, is to write as much as possible. This may seem anticlimactic to you, but the more you write and the more you repeat this process, every time you read a particular section in a textbook, go through the relevant supplemental reading, maybe even go through articles and cases, try and put that down on paper as much as possible. And what I mean by writing is not just in relation to summarizing your notes, reading something, marking that down, maybe even putting down a spider graph. Not that. Or rather, not that on its own or in isolation. You should then go on to try and answer questions corresponding to those topics as well. Because what I often see is students would go ahead and read and maybe even make notes, but they enter into this relevant comfort zone, so to speak, and they stick to it without really going through past examination questions, sample assessments, mock papers, and so on. And the very first time, or arguably one of the few times that they do put pen to paper, is during an examination. Right. Now I know that it may be quite difficult for you to get out of that comfort zone as well. Granted, you do have a stable routine in place. When you put in the number of hours, you read as much as you can, and perhaps even make the relevant notes, and you fill up your book, so to speak, with the summarization of whatever you've covered. And then when it comes to the examination or the mock exam side of things, you are hesitant. It might be due to apprehension, due to fear, and so on. What I would recommend is, on the one hand, do have a look at the workshop series on the online law school platform, which does give you an opportunity to see how I have conducted tutorials and workshops with actual students on a one-on-one basis who have gone on to later achieve second upper or first class law degrees. It's quite comprehensive, and it will give you the necessary start or the boost, the catalyst, so to speak, to get going on your own. On the other hand, you're more than welcome to reach out to me through the links in the description below, and we can set up either a fast track or a masterclass program so that we can go through A to Z in terms of the theoretical components so that you can contextualize your preparation and then conduct tutorials and workshops on a one-on-one basis so that you can go from not just passing your examination but acing it altogether. That being said, until the next time that we meet, have fun, stay safe, and as always, obey the law.